Welcome, guys. It's another beautiful Labor Day afternoon, or as founders in Web3 like to call it when faced with an acute lack of interns, Mayday, Mayday. And we have the extremely charismatic and talented and pedigreed Shuja Hussain, who's part of the dream team at Carret.in. We are going to talk a little bit about him and his equally talented co-founder, Neha Kumari, who's ex-IT, ex-Flipkart. But before we do that, here's one interesting insight. Shuja hails from the same school as the Indian cricket captain Mahinder Singh Dhoni, so MSD. And then another thing that I'm going to touch upon is the fact that he was part of my dream club at my dream university. So he went to IIM Ahmedabad. For those unversed with the Indian education system, that's like the Hogwarts of Indian B schools. So unless you want to call it the best, it's definitely one of the best B schools that you can come out of. It's produced some of India's real rock stars. I probably can't name them all here. And I have one right in front of me. That's such an honor, Shuja. So you were telling me about the time India went nuts about the India-Pakistan T20 win with MSD at the helm. I remember that time. Fireworks.
Yeah. Thanks for this lovely introduction, of course. Yeah, I was there. My hostel was pretty close to MSD's parents' house. Of course, they were not there in that house at that point of time. We won the World Cup. It was 12 at the night. We all went to that place, and there was already a lot of media there. And they were trying to record some bites from audiences, and they would tell people that, okay, form a semicircle, I will ask you a question, and then you will answer. But people were so excited. As soon as they will switch on the camera, people will start closing in, and they will have to again shut off the camera.
I
So they
remember
tried
the
doing
news
this.
clippings.
Yeah, so they tried doing this three, 4 times in the night, but they were not able to get sound bites. We roamed around in that region like entire night. We went, had a blast. It was good experience. Like to be 16, 17 years old, seeing your team winning the World Cup, it was sort
I
of
was watching the 2011 Wankhede helicopter shot from a hostel room in NIFT, HSR layout in Bangalore. And I remember, so there were like 20 people, 20 kids in a room with one single CRT TV screen. And at the end of it, everybody smashed their beer bottles at the screen. It was crazy. And then Bangalore went nuts. So I can,
Yep.
yeah.
Crazy times.
Crazy times, yes. Speaking of crazy times, how did you? So I went through your profile and Neha's. From what I understand, you've had, I mean, you've spent the better part of 3 years looking at or appraising loan applications and collateral applications at Yes Bank. So you've had that exposure towards the psyche of the Indian high net worth investor and the Indian businessman who's potentially your client. Now that I look at what Carret is doing. And then you've also spent time managing content at upGrad, which is a beautiful mix, because then for mainstream crypto adoption, that's the other angle that you need to cover, how to educate. So I think you're covering those two aspects pretty well at Carret. That's what I gathered from first glance. It's designed for someone who is not accustomed to the idea of signing a wallet. Like my father, he's just started using Google Pay, and he's become comfortable with the idea of downloading apps on his phone, and he likes playing on a smartphone. So Carret is mobile first. It offers it offers a very simplistic trading interface for people who are new to cryptocurrencies. And I saw that you also have over the counter and private wealth management services, which is sort of the need of the hour. We've been speaking to people who are solving for problems like crypto taxation and all the other ways in which interfaces can become really friendly for people to really move into the adoption boom. We've all been talking about how India is at 119 million crypto users compared to US's 27 million. I think that's a market stat that's working for you. But how did you get into crypto? That's the first thing that I want to start off with, because believe me, half of India wants to understand the motivation of people. A dream team such as yours, her from ITBH and you from IIM-A, the two of you with, deciding to move away from decidedly and very visibly illustrious careers to do this in Web3. That's a bold step. What led you here?
Right. So my first introduction to crypto asset class was when I was at IIM-A. It was 2017 bull run, and what I could hear was everyone was talking about Ethereum, Ripple, and I was like very curious. What is that? What is this bug that everyone has bitten into, and everyone is talking about this? And then I just saw that it's like a magic money. Oh, you put in 100 rupees, it gets like 200 in a week or so. I mean, this was like the very late stage of bull market. So
how much money did you make during that phase?
Not that, but it was very pretty late in the bull market. It was somewhere around November, December 2017. So I put in a small amount. I was still a student at that point of time. So we made some money, exited. Probably even the college was ending in March, because from then onwards it was their time, and I forgot about it after that. So I graduated, went and started into my banking career. I was there for 2.5, 3 years, and I was basically responsible for deleveraging and de-risking the bank's portfolio. So suppose you give out 1,000 crore loan to a particular business, and then you would want other banks to take part of some of that risk. So you basically tell other bankers, we have already underwritten the loan, we have done the due diligence, you just come and participate in this particular round. So for them it becomes easier. Okay, someone
It's
has already
almost
done that.
like arranging a debt funding round in a way,
Yes,
with lead
exactly. Yeah.
investors. Interesting.
Yes. So that was my job. And when I was there, the bank was going through very tough time financially, and CEO had to change. Like as soon as the batch went in 3 months down the line, the CEO has been fired. New CEO came in, and then finally all like hell break loose in March of 2020 when the bank had to be restructured. So I've seen that journey of a traditional bank in India, like from the inside of it, and I see loans moving from one balance sheet to another balance sheet. So the risk is getting transferred from one bank to another, but it is remaining in the system. And when you see that, you feel like, what is going on? Like you are supposed to prevent these things, but this is not happening. And that's where it clicked. I again started researching about crypto asset class, and then started building my conviction. After a certain point of time, it happened that I would do my job, let's say till 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the night, and then I'll read probably 3, 4 hours about Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And after a certain point of time, it felt like, boss, I cannot do two things one at a time. I think I need to do this full time. So that at
And
that
you're
point of
still in
time,
banking professionally while all of this is happening.
so transition from banking to upgrade at that
So
point
you're
of
already
time.
in upgrad by now. Okay.
Yeah, by upgrad. So in upgrad, because I have to do a lot of content sort of review, because it's of course a MBA education that someone is going to take from my platform. So that angle is already there. I'm also reading up on Bitcoin, doing my research, and then after a certain point of time, I have deployed like 90% of my net worth into it. Now, when you have done that, of course, you want to do something in this industry. And my friends knew about it because I was telling them, go buy Bitcoin, go buy Bitcoin, go buy Bitcoin. And everyone was like, is this person has he gone crazy or what? And I was like, no, if you read about it, you understand the basic fundamentals, you will feel like you should have some allocation towards it. And people sort of followed me. They put in some money there. They made decent money, and that was fine for them. And when they knew that I was trying to do something in this industry, so one friend of mine who was my IIM-A dorm mate, he was Neha's batchmate at IIT BHU.
Okay.
And he knew that she is also looking to do something in the crypto asset class. So he basically connected both of
And she
us.
had her own journey which led to this. So the prior to
Yes.
this, the two of you had never really met. So the first connection
No.
happened because you wanted to get into this. That's a
Yes.
different sort of serendipity route. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we spoke like how we are interested into it and what kind of challenges that we see. And there was one particular problem both of us felt like. So neither she was a trader nor I was a trader. We were like investor, long-term believer in the asset class. And we were like, if I am investing in Bitcoin and let's say Ethereum, I would want to earn more of it. How do I do that? And there was no player in the Indian market at that point of time who was doing that in a better way. And it felt like a very obvious problem to solve for the crypto asset class. So by that time, I had already gone and pitched the crypto exchanges in India. So Wazir
This
or
is
DeFi
like the
Coins.
a joke that my father keeps making is that in India the definition of money has this third rule. So it has to follow the basic two criteria of economics, scarcity and authenticity. But in India, money has to work for itself and make
Yes,
more money. So yeah, as long as Bitcoin was not doing that, people were not considering it. So then
right.
you decided to solve specifically for this problem. So I noticed
Specifically,
you advertise 17% APY as an assured return on your platform.
right. So we sort of thought that for a retail customer, what is important? They do not have time to go and research about, let's say, DeFi yield protocols every hour, every day, and they have another job. They don't need to take care of that. So maybe we can become a front end for those people, become an app which they use daily, something like a phone pay, Paytm, any other financial app. It is simply easy to use. It does the job for them, whatever job it is required to do, and they should have some level of trust to use that app. And that was a thought process from where we came from. So we worked on the idea for like passively for 3 4 months, and we thought of checking like if as co-founders we will work together or not, and it felt like we can
How did you do that? That's another interesting. Like, how do you figure out if this is the right co-founder and are we vector aligned on the same idea?
right. So one of the easy things was that we had two different complementary skills basically. So I came from finance and operations background, she came from tech and product background, so that helped. And then for 3 months we actually work from different cities. So like in a offline setting, we would work upon the product idea, we would go and try to get partnership, whatever was required to start the company and everything. So I'll take care of certain things, she'll take care of certain things, and then let's say there is some sort of discussion, okay, what should we choose? So we will have like a pro and con, and whosoever's argument is better, basically that argument will win. And once you do that, it becomes very easy to understand that, okay, this is a logical step that you are taking. There's no forced decisions here. You discuss it out, and whatever the best argument is gonna win. So it becomes easy to work together. And after like 3 months, it felt like, okay, we can do this full time. So basically, we resigned from our jobs and then started in late 2021.
September to be precise, I believe.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And how was the initial, like, for how long was it just the two of you? When did you go for your first hire?
So we worked on it till I would say November of 2021. Both of us, we wrote the initial logic of the platform. She wrote some bit of code, and then we sort of hired our first person in December of 2021. Then we launched the trade
What
platform.
was the first? Who was the first hire? What role was this? I asked
So
this to
this
all the founders.
so this was a backend development role. So
Okay.
we had to basically convert that logic and a bit of code into a full-fledged exchange code. So
So
that's
at
what we
this
did.
point, your main focus was to perfect the MVP and go out into the market and sort. Okay.
Yeah. So at this point of time, we saw that a lot of people were just trying to raise, and then do a marketing and then launch. We were like, just build out the product, put it in the market. If someone will use it, then probably you have a good product to work with. Otherwise, there's no point in building the product. So we
Very
just
true.
made an MVP. We launched this in February of 2022. Some initial set of customers came in. We felt good about it, and the platform was working decently enough. There were certain bugs, of course, but it worked well enough. So we thought that, okay, we might have a product that will work. And of course, this was just an onboarding tool for us to get people onto the platform so that they can buy the asset. Once
What
they
was
have
the
done that,
first service that you offered?
so this,
Crypto purchases.
yes,
Okay.
crypto trading, basically buy and sell. You deposit INR, you buy Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum.
So in the user's journey, there's no third-party ramp involved. They can just deposit INR and start trading in crypto directly on Carret.
Right.
You guys went from idea to MVP in 6 months. That statement sort of struck out because it's something that a lot of founders struggle with. Along the way, aside from the backend developer that you mentioned, who else did you have to hire? More specifically, what would you say was your toughest hire, the one which took the longest to close, and what was that? What was that function?
So luckily, like finance has a something that would have been very difficult here, but I was the person who was supposed to take care of that. So that kind of took care of. But one very important hiring, not hiring, I would say a partner that we did very early on was get a decent lawyer and a decent accountant in the very beginning to understand this, navigate this stuff. So of course, I had some experience in accountancy and legal stuff during my banking days, but we needed someone who could actually put pen to the paper and sign, okay, this is okay. And we had that support from the beginning, like August, September, I would say.
And
From there on,
this is a full-time resource in your team now, as in legal, strictly from a
no,
legal perspective.
not a full-time resource, but she is on a retainer with us. So
Okay.
she helped us a lot in the beginning how to structure the company, incorporate the company. Because in India at that point of time, although not a lot of pushback has happened, but we could see that what the trend is. So you have to get a like watertight legal structure in place.
Oh yes, you guys are incorporated within Indian territory.
So we have an entity in India, we have another entity in Singapore. So we have both entities.
You're investment friendly globally.
Yes.
Speaking of, are you at this stage? Are you guys bootstrapped? Have you already raised funds in the past? What stage are you guys at right now?
So we did raise funds. So we did a small friends and family round in Feb of 2022, and then we did a small angel round in August of 2022. So that was the small check that we did, and most of the time it was bootstrapped. So initially we bootstrapped it, then we utilized some funds from the friends and family round, then build out the 24 Carret, the flagship product, which we launched in June, July. And then from the angel round, we basically did some marketing and got the like initial users. Right now, from April onwards, we are operationally profitable.
I was about to get to that. By the way, kudos on this.
Thanks.
Not a lot of founders can actually boast about. Everybody is busy fundraising. We are constantly publishing manuals on how to crack your next fundraise, and to be profitable in this space within such a short timeline is truly spectacular. And I was hinting at that because I noticed that you guys are in the business of dealing with high net worth retail customers. So your path to profitability was always better if done well. So you guys seem to have cracked that piece of the puzzle. Are you then looking for further fundraising in terms of, and if so, what directions would you scale up? Do you see Carret scaling up towards?
Right. So since our starting days, we always have the motto that this will be a retail focused platform. And this was supposed to be the journey as well. But when FTX happened, and before that, also the market was very much like volatile, we realized that spending marketing dollars on acquiring retail customer might not be the best use of resources right now. So we entirely focused our shift to converting B2B clients, or let's say high net worth individual clients at that point of time. So that's when we started the private client vertical. And so some of my alumni are in Dubai network, right? And they were always looking for these kind of products. So we onboarded them. And then word of mouth got out in that particular circle. And people liked the idea, they liked the product, and they were like, if I can get a decent return on a stable coin product, why would I go and basically invest into a volatile product? So from there on, it clicked that maybe we can scale this vertical. So from November till March, we focus entirely on scaling this vertical. And at the back end, we also sort of are polishing our app for retail customers, so that in next 6 months, when the bull market returns back, retail customers start coming back, we have a product ready for them.
That is very interesting foresight. And just let's do a founders rapid fire.
Hmm.
How many advertising dollars have you spent so far, net total, in terms of of your user acquisition? Because as a retail platform, you're largely word of mouth dependent and referral dependent. I understand that. And I'm about to dive a little deeper into your community growth efforts, as in how much are your marketing efforts aligned to the Web3 mainstay versus how many Web2 first policies will still work in your favor, because you are competing for mind space in the same zone as, let's say, a CoinSwitch or a WazirX, or a traditional entry point into crypto. You're trying to get into that space, right? So did you have to spend any advertising dollars so far? How many users have you acquired? What's your CAC right now?
Right. So the basic thing is that our product does not compete with CoinSwitch or WazirX or any trading platform, because a trading platform has to incentivize their users to trade a lot. A frequent trade has to happen. But we, as an investing platform, we want our customers to buy the asset and hold it on our platform, so that we
You're a
can deploy
long-term
that capital.
investment solution.
Yes. So we are more of an investment platform rather than a trading platform. So that is the basic distinction as well. So we attract those kind of people. So let's imagine a salaried person who allocates, let's say, 10% of their like monthly salary into investment. So we
Like
want
an
to attract
SIP.
that person. Yeah, like an SIP. So we understand that a person will come to our platform, they will do 12 investments in a month, and that's enough for us. We don't want a person who wants to do 2000 trades in a year. We don't want that kind of audience. If they come, it's well and good. They might trade, they might make some profit, and then they will invest into
So
the investment product.
ballpark, what kind of ticket size per month at a 12-month lifetime value t- translates into profitability for you?
So actually, it's quite less for us because our team is quite small and the operational expenses are quite small. So a typical user who can invest, let's say, up to 5,000 rupees a month for 12 months will give us a profitability in less than 6 months to 12 months.
That is a very interesting segment to chase.
Yes. And our main competitors would be actually alternate investment options in India rather than, let's say,
Like
Zerodha or
Grow,
Coin.
for example, could be a.
Yes. So someone like a mutual fund platform, or let's say Grip Invest, or someone like a asset class, which is not very traditional in nature. Because although we are providing the solution as a steady investment platform, the asset class itself is riskier in nature. So you have to pitch it against something that is there in the traditional asset class, or something like, let's say, invoice financing or P2P lending, something like that. So that is the region that we are in, and you will get to more traditional audiences once you have onboarded initial set of risky customers. So what happens is that
Yes.
they will come to the platform, they will see that they are making money, and after a certain point of time they'll go and talk to their friends, and their friends will ask them, where do you invest your money? And they will see, I allocate to this, but I also allocate to this crypto asset class, but it's very steady for me. I do not see volatility on their platform. And that clicks to them. Okay, if I can get up to 17% by investing into a less volatile asset, why not do that rather than investing into, let's say, a mutual fund where I might get 12% over 5 years, but there is no surety like how much I will get next year or 2 years down the line.
So from what I can fathom right away is that your marketing communique is more awareness driven than community engagement driven, right? Because
Right.
The same way mutual funds were trying to educate people with the whole mutual fund sahiya.com campaign. So
Right.
in the long term over the future, by the way, how big is your team again right now? Total, you
So
said
right now, yeah. So we are a lean team. We are around 12 people team right now.
that's decent.
So
That's decent.
yeah.
I come from a 7-member team, so I appreciate the dynamics of working in a really
Yes.
small team. You are always aware of what the team is doing, and you have control over vector alignment. Do you see yourself growing to like triple digits within the next 5 to 10 years? I again, this is a standard question that I'm pitching to founders, especially considering that you are expanding into retail. So
Yeah.
another person who mentioned that there might be hires in business development and sales and operations in terms of onboarding users in different geographies at some stage. And considering India is a land of diverse cultures and you are competing for that awareness mind space, do you see that sort of scale happening in terms of recruitment?
Yes. We absolutely do see that. Like as the team will grow, as the awareness will grow, we will need folks into customers service management. We will also need folks into sales team. So that side of things need to be very tight because India is a very, I would say, service heavy country. If you are slipping on your services, the word of mouth will
Very,
get hurt.
very delicate
Very
sensibilities of
delicate.
this. Yes.
Yes. So it doesn't matter which brand you are. If you are not servicing them to the fullest, you will get hurt. So from that perspective, yes, we do need to hire people. But if I talk about like the core team, which is taking care of the product and let's say taking care of the technology, it will most probably remain a small team, probably 20-25 member team, which will take care of that. But yes, we will need a team to support the core team member to get the next leg of journey there.
That is the ideal place to be.
Yeah.
Uh, every entrepreneur wants you, and this especially applies to you because you have made an entry into a completely new segment than what you were working in. Every entrepreneur, when they start out, I myself, I worked full time for about 8 years between
Mm.
2010 to 2018, and then I had a 3-year entrepreneurial break. I ran an agency, a consumer app. Needless to say, none of those things are thriving because I'm back at my full time grind. But I had my own learning experiences there. Like, don't make your best friend your CTO was something that I took away. And the way you met your co-founder is a very interesting thing because you sort of met because of the project. Now, having said that, every entrepreneur usually has experiences their own mythbusters, unique from what everybody else has forewarned them against. So, what were your top 3 learnings during this phase in terms of being real mythbusters? As in, you were accustomed, you expected A to happen and then B happened as an entrepreneur. Top 3 moments like that.
Right. So I think one very distinct thing that happened very initial in our journey. So what happened that as soon as we registered the company, we got inbound requests from a lot of VCs. So they would call you up, their analyst will call you up, and they will try to talk to you like,
Is
what
this
are
the
you trying
side
to?
effect of having one co-founder from IIT, one from IIM?
You
Little
could
bit.
say, yeah. So you will get inbound calls and they will ask you about the product and they will ask you things which are like 5 years down the line and you have just started on the idea. So you cannot answer those questions, right? So you talk to them, you try to feel like how interested they are. They are not interested. They're just trying to get the information. And after a certain point of time, let's say you decide to pitch them. Okay, I'll pitch to you what my idea is. And when you pitch the idea, if someone is not from the industry, from them, a broader lens, they will think there is already WazirX, there is already CoinDCX. Why will
Yes.
another
I
entity
made the same assumption when I was
yeah
pitching.
yeah
Yes.
survive in India? And then we tell them this is intrinsically different business model. CoinDCX or CoinSwitch Kuber cannot pivot from their current model to our model. If they do that, they will have to destroy their current business because the incentivization mechanism is so different in these two business lines. Trading involves people trading frequently. That's how you make your revenues. We make revenues when our customer just buy once and keep it on the platform. You can understand how difficult this is. Even Binance cannot do that if they wanted to tomorrow. And that is something that we used to say, and they will not believe us. And it's like 18 months, 20 months down the line, the case is still the same. The trading platforms are struggling in India. The volumes are down like 90% for them, most of them. And we as a company has grown like 50x in the past year or so. So that is something that mythbuster, not for us as well. But I would say, to put it politely, like someone who's not from the industry will not understand the intricacies,
Yes.
what's going on here.
And the questions are natural and likely. So your first mythbuster is that you had to serve the purpose of actually giving out mythbusters to people in the first place.
Yeah.
Any other important learnings that you'd like to share with our founder viewers?
Right. So one other thing was that although we had this intuition, but we would hear conflicting views that you should perfect the product before you go in the market. And we always had this intuition because Neha had worked in Flipkart and she had also worked on new products, and she was always of this view that we should
Flipkart
get
was
the
the master of waitlisting, no? Like for sales and everything.
yeah. And she was like, if you do that, now you might not even have a product to actually use the customer. And no matter how much time you spend on the product, once you will launch it, something will break and it is gonna bound to happen. So let's just build the product, have an MVP, release it out, let people use. Once people will use it, then you will know what is lacking in the product, because then you will get the customer feedback. And that is what we did. And we actually found very valuable insights from our customers who are using the app. So that particular thing, that you have to perfect the product and then basically go to the market, or something that should be like, it should not be in your mind. You should just build the product, make it out in the market. Of course, you cannot have that product for a long period of time, but for the initial set of customers, you should do that.
No, you are a perfect testament for that make or break mindset that is needed, because like I mentioned, 6 months to MVP and then less than 2 years to profitability is definitely a testament to how thoughtful that decision was, really.
Right.
And thank you for doing this. You are setting up an inspirational journey for many founders who are venturing into the DeFi space. So I wanted to add on. You mentioned we did notice that there was a lack of credible information when it came to DeFi behavior and user behavior trends in the India. So we had state of DeFi reports coming in from all around the world. We actually did a little experimentation of our own. Released. We did a 2-month long survey
Right.
reviewing. I think you might have heard about it a
Yes.
couple. And then we had this launch gig around the report. So State of DeFi India report was aimed to create, actually serve as that mythbuster, as what are people actually doing on these platforms? Do they hold on for long? Are they comfortable with investing? Do they buy insurance? There are so many interesting areas to. I'm sure you have explored some additional ways to scale up in terms of your offerings also going forward in the future. You have, once you onboard that right mindset of users and
Hmm.
at scale. Coming back to that last question, so advertising dollars was, you really haven't spent a lot advertising your product at all. It's mostly just, so I'm guessing your marketing spends were more aligned in terms of content creation, educational content
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah. So we had like around, I would say, whatever we have spent on till now, probably 20% of that has gone into creating awareness and basically educating people. And that education does not only mean putting out video content, but we have actually done seminars with wealth managers whom we can educate, and we have to incentivize them to come and listen to us so that they can get the word out in the market as well. And that will show its fruit probably 6 months down the line, because it's a long cycle to conversion. It's like a typical B2B sales. And in India, if there is someone who already has money, they will clutch it tighter than their child if they have to part it with it. So you have to build a lot of trust. So that kind of education needs to be done there. One thing that I wanted to mention to you regarding the behavior of investors in India. So right now we all feel that we should always onboard people who know what DeFi is, what crypto is, and all that. But we as a platform, we feel that if a person is crypto native, you don't need to onboard that customer. That customer is already crypto native. They can go and do the DeFi stuff on their own.
They're
What we
staking
actually
their
need to
tokens
do,
elsewhere.
yes, what you need to do is actually solve this problem for those people who do not have the bandwidth to understand all this stuff. They do realize that it's a new asset class, it's an opportunity for them to invest, and this might be the future asset class. You need to make it simple for them to basically onboard and generate that trust with them, and then be a platform which is ready to take their dollars when they want to put in there.
I am kind of intrigued enough to go back to your pitch deck slides and review whether there was this giant Samtam Som slide about India's real degens. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you talk about degens in the Web3 space, people have this different mindset. But then yeah, in India you have film financiers and people who put in deep money. Yeah, you're going after those people, and you're going after the people who manage that money on behalf of these individuals. So you're also looking at a very trusted group of accountants, chartered accountants specifically, private wealth management studios, and okay. So it's going to be an interesting journey. We would love to feature you a lot more often, you and Neha, of course, who couldn't be with us here today. But yeah, Labor Day, somebody's got to run the
Yeah.
fort. I appreciate you making time for this today. I really do, Shuja. Despite the fact that it's May Day. Do you have any? A lot of people are going to look up to you in the next 10 years as an inspiring role model for entrepreneurs in an entirely new developmental era. So, do you have any parting words of wisdom that are uniquely your own, and you would really want entrepreneurs to think about before taking their leap of faith in this direction in the Indian Web3 space?
Yes, actually, yes. So when I was doing my job, when I was doing my MBA and when I was doing my job, I never thought that I would become an entrepreneur. I was always like, this is not my cup of tea. I cannot do this. Like
I
I
can
am a very
imagine
stuck.
that from IIM Ahmedabad. I can totally
Yeah,
imagine that.
I am a very structured person. But then there will be a moment in your life and you realize this is something that I am very passionate about. And that moment for me, when I was there, I was doing a job. Like I will do my job from 9 in the morning to 8 in the night, and then from 8 in the night till 1 in the night, I'll be stuck with this idea in my mind. I'll read upon it, and then you have to make a decision. Okay, either you have to take that idea out of your mind and then focus upon your work and your personal life, or you need to take a plunge, and that taking that plunge is of course difficult. So you don't need to do it at once. Dip your toe, do it like on your weekends, do it with someone else as a part time, and once you get fully convicted on that idea, then only you basically go and uh, give yourself to the idea.
So
But
when
yes,
that tickle comes in, don't brush it aside. Tease it a little, play
yeah,
with a little, and see where it
yes,
takes you.
yes,
I like saying that out to people. Follow your dreams. Last week we saw Sachin's birthday, and he keeps saying the same thing. People, and I think it's very underplayed in Indian society, especially. We say it out loud, and we see it on motivational posters and even brand messaging. Follow your dreams, just do it. But yeah, coming from you, it really means a lot to me. The way I grew up and the way I looked at it. I'm a college dropout, and I had my different ideas regarding what constituted a decent education, and what you've crafted for yourself is truly, truly inspiring.
yeah,
Thank you once again, Shuja. A big shout out to Neha. We missed you this time, but we hope to get you guys here soon. Shuja, if you have interesting founder friends that you'd want to get featured on the Graviton podcast or bring them along for like a chai pe charcha thing, I would love to make that happen.
sure,
The sooner the better. And a quick shout out to everybody who's been watching so far. Thank you for being patient with me, Sham and Shuja and Team Graviton and Team Carret. Please don't forget to follow us on at Join Graviton to keep listening to more of these amazing podcasts with amazing founders from all over India. And as the good overlords like to say, hashtag #WogMe.
hashtag walk with. Thanks for
Hap-
having us.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Shuja. Happy Labor Day, everybody.